What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So I spoke to the man himself, David Michery. We had a quick chat on some hot topics that was very important to him. So just wanted to clear the air. So let me know you guys' thoughts on the chat. He did open up the door for future conversation. So definitely very optimistic when it comes down to that. But again, let me know you guys' thoughts on what he does say in the comments below. And if there is any potential other questions that maybe in the future you would like answered. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it.
Hey, Cal, good evening. How are you?
Good, and how are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, of course, anytime. So yeah, a lot of things have been coming out, more specifically about Lawrence. So I guess what's your take on that kind of stuff over the last little bit?
Interesting, very interesting to say the least. Want to thank you for inviting me on your show. Let me start by addressing that we signed an agreement with Lawrence on April 17th of this year. That agreement is filed with the SEC. You can go to Edgar and view it. It's a definitive agreement that says that it will act as the binding agreement until superseded by a subsequent definitive agreement, an operating agreement that outlines all of the material terms to the mail operations that would commence following the complete execution of all the operating agreements. So that agreement stands in full force and effect and can be viewed again on Edgar by anybody that chooses to review it. So we sent him definitive agreements, which are the operating agreements and all of the agreements that would underline operating mail. That went to his current lawyer, the Calhoun law firm, and we obviously submitted those documents for review. They submitted those documents to Lawrence and then contacted us towards the end of May to tell us that they were terminated by Lawrence, which we found to be interesting, to say the least. And then subsequently, on May 26th, we were contacted by a firm called Morgan Roth and Morgan Roth, and that they were appointed by Lawrence as the new law firm. And then we had our lawyers resend all of the documents to Morgan Roth on June 1st. And then on June 2nd, we were told that they had sent all the documents to Lawrence for review. And then we received on the same day, mind you, we received a phone call from, quote unquote, his new CEO or a past CEO that he had brought back for one of his companies that claimed that they had terminated Morgan Roth and that Morgan Roth no longer represented Lawrence. So as of this date, there has been no comments sent back to us of the draft agreements that were sent to Lawrence by any law firm or by Lawrence himself, and we requested comments so that we can try to move this thing forward. So keep in mind, between January 4th of this year and January 20th, we had Lawrence at our facilities in Troy, Michigan, testing this EMM module, and Lawrence would provide us data showing that these units performed at whatever level that we had advertised were the results provided by Lawrence. We had asked that we wanted to have these units independently tested by an EPA certified test facility in Michigan. He agreed to do that on April 21st, and those vehicles have been sitting at the EPA test facility in Michigan waiting for him to provide those units. We're told time in and over and over again that he's going to provide the units, and those vehicles have been sitting, both Class 1 and Class 3 have sat at that facility now for well over a month, maybe more. And again, waiting to run these EPA certified tests so we could validate the unit as a condition to closing. So as of this date, there's been, no response to that. So he had mentioned, I believe, earlier you had stated that I had reviewed his quote-unquote Saudi deals. Now, I've never reviewed any Saudi deals, nor am I familiar with deals. And to be clear, if anyone were interested, they could defer to the agreements that we executed with them that, keep in mind, act as the definitive agreements until superseded by subsequent operating agreements, and they are not cancelable unless we mutually agree to terminate the relationship, which we've not done. That this individual would provide, as it relates to the Saudi deal, it's carved out. We gave him that. So I don't understand why he would say that he provided us that deal to look at when he has that as a carve-out in the agreements that we filed. I believe we filed those agreements with the SEC. I don't have the exact date, but I believe you can go to Edgar online and look at the 8K. But he does have a carve-out, and we gave him that territory as an exclusion, so we really don't have any rights to it, nor do we care. So, there'd be no reason for us to look at any agreements that he has between the Saudis or the alleged Saudis. I mean, we don't care one way or the other. So I want to be clear about that. I've never reviewed any documents. He's never provided any documents about any Saudi Arabian deal. The only documents that I've ever reviewed were documents with the District of Columbia for the installation of these units into Chevy Bolts. Those are the only documents we reviewed, and then subsequent IP and patent pending files that were made by him. So where we're at with this is, in our opinion, we have a binding agreement, and the agreement that is filed with the SEC stands until canceled by both parties. And at this stage, we're waiting for comments to the operating agreements and validation by an EPA certified laboratory where we have 3 vehicles sitting waiting for these modules, 2 Class 1s and 1 Class 3. So very, very, very interesting, as you can imagine.
That's a little bit more of a, that's why I guess I've always said there's 2 sides to every story, and this is definitely one side that we've never really heard. It's good to hear Mullen's viewpoint, though. But
look, typically we don't like to comment, unless there's misrepresentations being made, or we want to be factual and we want to be precise in our representations. And obviously, when earlier you announced certain what you claimed were facts that were made by him, and we knew that they were not factual, we have an obligation to our shareholders to provide factual information. And this is an easy one because the information is provided literally online with filings that we made with the SEC. So the fact that he stated that there was no contract, that's not true. And the fact that he said we canceled an agreement last Friday, that's not true. We can't find out, which lawyer is representing him at this point. There's been 3 law firms in a period of a couple of months that he has terminated one after the other. So, we'll see where this goes. But I do believe in him as a person. I think that he's a great inventor, and I would like to see the complete conclusion to this. Hopefully he delivers the units, we test them, and the results are accurately stated, and we can, corroborate that internally, and we'll close and fund him and do everything we promised. So at this stage, that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. I know you mentioned that Lawrence has been, I guess, Has there been, I guess, any involvement between Mullen itself and any Saudi entity?
Again, we don't have any rights to any Saudi territory. That is clearly defined in the agreement that we filed with the SEC. He has an exclusion to that, so I really can't comment on something that has nothing to do with me.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I think it's good to hear your viewpoint, and obviously you clearing the air on a lot of these things, because I guess it's very been one-sided lately, but I appreciate that, David.
Well, look, we're real busy, working and trying to create value for our shareholders, right? This is a market where you got to have fundamentals. You have to do the things to make yourself different than everybody else that's out there, and we're trying to create value by building products that are proven, that we can deliver, collect revenue on, develop technology, push the envelope, create jobs in America, bring back production to the U.S., do all the things that we stated 2 years ago we were going to do. We're proud to say we've hired 200 plus people in the last year, and we're continuously ramping up from all different angles. We have facilities now in Irvine, California, facilities in Monrovia, California, facilities in Troy, Michigan, multiple facilities in Detroit, Michigan, one of which is Bollinger. We have facilities in Mishawaka, Indiana. We have facilities in Tunica, Mississippi. In my opinion, this is solely my opinion, I think that we are doing things that are definitely going to push every single EV company in the space to try to do what we're doing in order to be able to compete at the level we want to compete at. And right now, there's a lot of guys that haven't been able to compete, including us, meaning there's one gigantic Goliath in this space, and that's obviously Tesla. I don't think anybody will ever, be able to perform at that level. But I guess if you can get close, and whoever can become the second guy in the space and capture a significant part of market share, I think will do extremely well. Right now, that's yet to be seen. I don't care who you are, until you could deliver substantial numbers of products, no matter what they are, commercial, retail products, whatever you're going to deliver, you have to be able to do it in volume, and you have to have velocity. And so we are shooting to be special. We want to be able to be one of the guys that says, not only can we deliver quality products that are assembled in America, but products that are reliable and that are serviceable on not just on a domestic level, but on a global level. But for us, we're working diligently. I work 18 to 20-hour days, literally, 7 days a week. My focus is I don't let the rhetoric, get in my way. I don't do a lot of talking. I'm focused on delivering, and I'm going to let my actions speak louder than words. I'm done speaking. I'm going to deliver, and then I'll let the stock go where the stock's going to go, right? It's going to be based on performance, how we perform as a company, as a team, right? No one person can win a championship by himself. It's a team effort. You surround yourself with strong people. You go out and do a good job, and you hope for the best. And I believe, I like our chances. I think that Mullen has all the right pieces in place, not just our vehicle lineup from a commercial perspective, but the factories that we have, the partnerships that we have, the people that we've hired. We are now moving in a direction to be a real force to reckon with in this space. We're not a company that is going out of business, unlike everything I read and see out there. This is a company that's the complete opposite. But again, right, until the dust settles and people realize who's going to be number two in the space, because no one will never, ever uproot Tesla, in my opinion. They're the 10,000-pound gorilla in the room. We're all fighting for number two, but number two would be great. So let's see when the dust settles who's going to be that number two guy, and we hope it's going to be us. We think we're doing all the right things to be that number two guy, but time will tell. And hey, some Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. It's just staying in there, fighting every day, trying to be great. I'm fighting not just for Mullen, I'm fighting for America. I want Americans to be able to be proud about building products again. I want to be the guy that ushers in a whole new era. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to not let the people that are trying to destroy the company, the people that badmouth the company. I'm going to support all the guys that do everything in their power to support this company. And hopefully when this market settles down, the economy gets a little better, and we have product that people buy and product that people support and technology that's announced and things that happen that change the sentiment out there. Then again, people might say, shit, these guys were actually the best guy in the space, and we treated them like they were the worst guy in the space. But it's okay. I like being the underdog. Sometimes the underdog surfaces and can win a championship. So we'll see what happens. It's all about persistence and determination, man. There's no quit here. I love it. I love a good fight.
Love it. That sounds good. I think you definitely do have a lot of good investors that are standing behind you and want Mullen to succeed. And I agree with you on a lot of the points as well, that Mullen does have a lot of good opportunity going forward, and you just need to keep at it.
Hey, look, right? Elon Musk opened the door, not just for Mullen, but for everybody out there. And I'm going to be one of the guys that actually delivers, his honest promises. Look, we all try our best, but I'm that guy that you never counted on, that you can knock down, you can kick in the dirt, going to get up and keep fighting. You got to kill me to stop me. So, like I said, if it's the last thing I do, we're going to deliver on every promise we've made. And we think about the shareholders all the time. We care about the retail shareholders. I care about the guys that are hurting us. I care about the guys that support us. I want everybody. I want the shorts to become longs, and I want the longs to become rich. And I will, do it with execution and delivery. And so we'll see what happens. It's a life. This is a 12-round fight, and I'm in the second round. I've gotten knocked down a couple times, but I'm not out. And if who knows? Maybe in the next round I knock out the other guy, or maybe I go the distance, but I put up a great fight and I become the number 2 guy in the game. There's no saying you can never become the number 1 guy, because you don't wake up, in the morning and you're a Tesla. You earn that. You do it over hard work, effort. No one knows how hard Elon Musk worked his entire life to get to this point. This man slept on his warehouse floor in sleeping bags while he was trying to build cars. The man worked harder than any person on this planet. He's dedicated. They don't see the 23 hours a day this man works. So if people had the work ethic that this man has, there'd be a lot more successful companies in the world. So whatever my 18 or 20 hours a day are nowhere near the amount of effort that man put forward. So he's a winner because he works harder than anybody else. Right? Same thing with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a success because he wouldn't quit. He kept at it. He wouldn't take no for an answer. Apple just didn't wake up one day and become a $3 trillion company. Apple couldn't get $250,000 to operate until Donnie Valentine from Sequoia Capital gave him $250,000. And the rest is history. So all I'm going to say is we are determined to succeed. Whoever bets on us, it's going to be a bad, bad bet. And I look forward to the day when Mullen is a generational company and people say, shit, we feel bad for beating that company up the way we have. And make no mistake, this is a real company with real people, real professionals, real products, real factories, and we're 100% American. Meaning the people that work in these factories, the people that slave every day to try to make our dates, to deliver our products, to develop our technologies. These are homegrown Americans, and we're proud of them. And we're proud of the country that we belong to. So it's it'll all come to fruition soon. And again, I wanted to thank you. I've been quiet lately because I wanted to be a person that delivers, a person that doesn't talk, just delivers. And that's why Mr. Michery has been quiet. Wants to speak with his actions, and you'll see. So, but feel free to call me anytime you want. You got my number, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I appreciate that, David. And yeah, hopefully we'll have more chats like this in the coming future.
I'm sure we will. You have an open line to me, and again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to clear the air here as it relates to Lawrence. Thank you very much.
Anytime. Thank you, David.